All right, you notice I did not say how to get your soulmate or how to find your soulmate. I said how to attract your soulmate. Now, the reason this is different is because, and I'll tell you honestly, for my life, I did not, in some sort of strategy, try to find a soulmate or try to devise some kind of methodology or step-by-step system to get a soulmate. I did not do that. I feel that I sort of got lucky. I had a miracle happen, right? I had an opportunity to have this soulmate in my life, which is my wife at the moment. I never used to believe this. Being trained as a PhD in neuroscience and growing up as a very academic guy, very rational person, I would make fun of the woo-woo. I would make fun of this concept of soulmates and spirituality and attraction and anything that was not mathematical or logical, I would make fun of and dismiss until I found my soulmate, which is my wife. And over the last 13 years of my journey, this started back in 2012, 2013, when I embarked on this transformation, health transformation, brain transformation, sexual transformation, and getting my masculinity back. Throughout this journey, when I think of how I found my soulmate, right? It's not find. It's not getting the soulmate. It's attracting the soulmate. So there are 10 lessons that I've learned over the last 13 years. And I feel that these 10 lessons, if you embody them, if you carry these out, and if you think of these every single day, you may find your soulmate. Of course, there's no guarantee. And I honestly will tell you that it is something like a miracle. It is something like a very fortunate thing. Most guys I know do not have their soulmate as their girlfriend or wife. And lots of people are in toxic relationships. There's a lot of problems going on in the world, divorces and breakups and whatnot, right? I have been very lucky in my life because no matter what happened, all the difficulties that I went through, all the frustrations, all the anger and the rage and the depression, it led me to today, having a soulmate. And now, even though I'm trained as a neuroscientist, through my own firsthand life experience, I can tell you that this is possible. This is not something that only happens in the movies or in fairy tales or in these romance novels. This is a real thing that has happened in my life. And I promise you that if you follow these 10 lessons that I'm about to give you, it will put you in the best position, the best opportunity to find your soulmate. Okay? So let's get started. The first thing I want to mention, the first lesson or the first maybe necessity that you must have is that you must love your naked body. When I started off in my transformation, I was fat, 40 pounds overweight. I did not like the way I looked. I was afraid to take my shirt off in public, at the beach or at the swimming pool. I had this dream that one day I would be able to wear a tank top and play basketball. I had a dream that I would be able to wear shorts, shorts very, to show my knees and stuff, and I would look good in those shorts. And now that has happened. And I feel that the moment I started becoming very comfortable with my naked body, the way I look when I don't have any clothes on, that really boosted my confidence. Now, I'm not saying that this is a 100% necessary and required for you to get your soulmate, but it would fucking hell help you to make that happen, okay? And I don't mean just, like, I mean every part of your body, your penis, your abs, your chest, your legs, your shoulders, right? Your face, your hair, your ears. You know, I had this insecurity that my ears are too outwards, right? So I would like push my ears like that, like for a while as a kid, right? So I had all these insecurities, and over time, when you put in the work, and when you do end up gaining muscle, losing fat, getting the physique that you want, you really feel good in your skin. And then you have this energy, this confident energy that people are attracted to, not just women, but people in general. So this is really important. And something funny, I remember in my WhatsApp profile photo, I used to have my six-pack body, right? Like I've had a six-pack for 10, 11 years now. And so I showed my six-pack body in my WhatsApp profile, and people would like make fun of me, right? My friends, even girls I would meet, like, oh, you're trying to show off. And I was like, yeah, pretty much. Like, you have to be proud of your body. You have to be proud of who you are, right? And show that off. Don't be scared, and don't be shy to show that off, okay? The transformation, if you are someone who is fat, overweight, obese, I feel that maybe this is in your top 2 or 3 priorities to lose weight, to get fit. And if you want to do a transformation, and if you're a guy, focus on testosterone, increasing your testosterone. That's what I did. That's what helped me the most. And decreasing your cortisol, decreasing stress, right? All the strategies you can do for that. And I'll tell you about a commitment that I made. You know, a lot of guys, they want the magic pill, right? They want to solve their transformation right away. They want to get the results in 1 week or 5 days or overnight, right? That's not how it works. And I'll tell you the reality of my life. I remember back in 2013 when I started my journey, I literally sat down one day and I said, okay, I was 31 at the time. And I said, okay, it has taken me 31 years to get to this brain. Right? I'm a neuroscientist, so I always think of the brain and all this stuff, right? Okay, well, how many years will it take me to transform my brain? And what is the maximum number of years I want to give myself, right? And because I have this training in neuroscience, I knew that there is no magic pill. In order to change synapses and unlearn, it's extremely difficult. It's way harder to unlearn than to learn. So I gave myself 10 years, man, 10 years. And I said, you know what, Farhan? Give yourself 10 years. Don't worry about getting the perfect girl or the perfect body or the perfect brain or having a lot of money in the bank account. Don't worry about any of that for 10 years, right? Do your best to achieve it as fast as you can, but don't hurry. Don't be desperate, right? Don't be thirsty for this stuff. So definitely I gave myself 10 years and I achieved my goals. I mean, of course, lots of goals still to achieve, and I'm still heading towards that. But a lot of my goals I achieved way before that, way before that, right? And so the brain shift happened. And so when it comes to time, you want to minimize, of course, because life is short. You want to minimize the time it takes to get to your goals, but don't be in a hurry. I think that's a big mistake people make, and give yourself the opportunity to have a miracle enter your life. When I met my wife 4.5 years ago, almost 5 years ago, I swear to God that I believe that it was a miracle. But in order for that miracle to happen, to find that soulmate, to attract that soulmate in the spiritual world, it took all of this physical work, which I'm gonna tell you more and more. So that's number one, okay? That's the first lesson. Love your naked body. The second one is take smart risks. And I highlight this, right? Do this for you. Look, we're not, and I did not go out into the world and explore and get all of these experiences, take all of these risks solely to find a girl. No, that wasn't the case. My main motivation, and again, this is attraction, not finding or getting, right? It's attraction. My main motivation was to overcome my fears and insecurities. And my most feared and insecure thing was my sexuality, right? My performance in the bedroom, right? I was addicted to porn, had erectile dysfunction, a lot of problems in the bedroom. And so for me, it was like, I need to fuck the hottest girls out there and get laid as much as possible, approach as many girls as possible, not to find a soulmate. No, I didn't even believe in that at the time. But so I can be confident in my sexuality. And through fortune and luck, I was able to attract a soulmate through this, right? So very important, right? Take smart risks. But do it for yourself. And even in Breaking Bad, you see Walter White at the end, he's like, if you haven't seen Breaking Bad, sorry, I'm gonna spoil this. He's like, oh, I did it for my kids. I did it for my family. No, he didn't. He did it for himself. So everything I'm doing here, even this video that I'm recording for you, I'm doing it for myself. So everything that you do in life, do it for yourself. Okay? Be selfish, honestly. Do it for you. Okay? And this world, and I've learned this from Seneca a lot of stuff from Seneca. And one of them is, if you are hurt by adversity, then it's because you were deceived by prosperity. So don't be deceived by prosperity. Be stoic, and don't be depressed or down from adversity, because adversity is how God tests men with courage. So don't back down. Keep going. Do what you want to do. You don't have to bend to the world. You don't have to do what the world wants you to do. None of that. Be who you are. Be the trendsetter and be the rule breaker. Okay? So adversity, very, very important. One thing I know for sure, when I knew that my wife is my soulmate, more and more and more, is because we went through adversity in our life. You know, I got into a motorcycle accident very early. She was behind me. I was in a motorcycle, in a scooter, and how we went through that adversity, right? She went through a lot of adversity in her work life, with her boss, and lots of issues, right? Family, right? Friends, mindset, depression, toxic habits, lots of these problems that we have both gone through. So that adversity, when you go with someone, you realize that they are your soulmate. And I wish that for you. Travel to a different country. Really, this is very important. If you're stuck in America or you're stuck in some other country, you haven't traveled abroad, you haven't gone to Europe and Asia, and especially like Eastern Europe, especially if you're a guy, you have to visit different cultures and have girlfriends and date from different cultures. You know, I have been fortunate to have girlfriends in many, many different cultures. And that allows me to understand where these girls are coming from. And I ended up marrying a Polish woman because, I don't know why, but now I know that there's a certain mindset, there's a certain personality that comes with Eastern European women. There's a certain personality that comes with Latin women, or with Chinese women, or with American women. There's all of this personality going on. So you have to explore that. Put yourself in a position to get lucky, to get fortunate, okay? So travel. Learn new languages, right? Russian, Spanish, French, Polish, these are languages that I've learned, and I'm not fluent in all of them, but I can at least get by, right? And especially if you look at a language like Russian, I practiced a lot of Russian when I was living in Ukraine, and then when I met my current wife, her mom is fluent in Russian, So I was speaking to her in Russian. And so that helped me so much, right? Spanish, pretty well, pretty conversational. French, right? From being in Montreal, and now I'm learning a lot of Polish. So it's such a blessing to like put yourself out there, expand your brain. And the more languages you learn, the better your brain will become, your brain health, your memory, right? Your synapses in your hippocampus will become stronger. You have to do this, man. Approach lots of girls, right? Date, sex, and play. Look, I know there's dating apps out there. It's really messing things up for men. I honestly believe that. You have to approach girls in physical life. Go out there and approach, talk, play. And yes, I say have sex, but be careful, right? Be careful. There's STIs. You don't want to ruin your life. So I've been very lucky to never get an STI, thank God. But be smart. Don't be stupid. Don't be just like having sex with a bunch of girls. Be smart about it. Have a commitment. For me personally, being intimate with someone after having an emotional bond, the sex is way better, like 10, 100 times better. So get that emotional bond. One thing I realized in my sexual journey is one of the top, maybe the top factor was having chemistry, right? Having that man to woman relationship, and then it just arises and it's hallelujah, right? Quit academia. So for me, when I went on my journey, I quit academia, right? I completely stopped doing research. I said, fuck this, like this is stupid. My colleagues are like, I don't want to be with these nerds, like screw them, right? And so I'm not telling you to quit your job or quit your career, but if you want to go on the journey, because look, having a soulmate, having the girl of your dreams with you at all times, and like being there with you on your journey in life, it is important. Like maybe it's the most important thing. Maybe it's even more important than money and health. Like just having a great relationship, maybe that's the most important thing. I don't know. To me, it's very, very important. So maybe you'll have to quit things that are very important to you. Maybe you have to make that sacrifice. Emotional commitment. I remember the moment when I decided that my wife is, when we were dating at the time, that she's my soulmate. I decided at a very specific moment. We were at a restaurant and she was very vulnerable and I was vulnerable, and I looked at her and I said, I want to take care of her. I want to take care of this girl. She's my little girl, right? And I want to take care of her my entire life. And this is it. I'm going to devote myself to her. And I have, and I will. So that emotional commitment, you have to take that risk, okay? And the Swedish metro story. I remember one of my exes, Swedish girl, I was in Stockholm at the time with her once, and I saw all these old people in the metro station alone, right? Lots of men. And at that time I decided, man, I am never gonna end up like this. I do not want to end up some old guy with no children and no love to take care of me in old age. Again, you don't want to be desperate. You don't want to be you want to. I'll get into the desperate stuff soon, but that's you don't want to be one of those guys, man. They looked really, really sad and depressed. Be willing to give up everything. Give everything up. Go all in, right? And again, I don't mean give everything up for the girl. No. That's going to drive her away. Don't do that. What I mean is give everything up for your inner fulfillment, your drive, your masculine potential. Give everything up for that. Go all in. Whatever fears, insecurities, you're scared what other people think of you, or you're scared to speak up, or you don't want to be aggressive, whatever that is. And you just are holding back in life, too shy, too introverted, whatever that is, you have to go all in, and you have to believe, and you have to 100% devote your life to going on your goals and on your path. And then the girl will just come into your life. Exact thing happened to me. But go all in, right? This, when it comes to religion, culture, parents, friends, your country, your education, your colleagues, your career, your stupid goals, right? right? Whatever that is, whatever you have to give up, right? I gave up caring about what my parents think of me. But this is way back in the day. Now I have a great relationship with my parents. But at that time, we had a terrible relationship. And parents didn't even want to see me. They didn't want to talk to me. They didn't want people to know I'm their son, right? My religion, right? There's a moment in my life where I said, you know what? I don't want to pray anymore. I don't want to be in this religion anymore. I don't want to be religious anymore. This is a cognitive load on me. It's just taking up too much brain power. I don't want to do anything. So I stopped praying. You know, I used to be a guy who would pray 3 times a day. That's what we're required to pray in our faith. I did this my whole life. And then in my early 30s, I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop praying. And I stopped praying. I stopped going to the prayer hall, right? And so I gave it up. And you have to give it up, right? Like if that's, and I thought, and I still do, that stuff was holding me back. That was keeping me behind for my goals. And my goal wasn't to become some religious guy or to become some priest or to be good in the rites and rituals. No. And the more I go away from religion, the closer I go to God. Even though religion is supposed to be binding yourself to God. It's not the case. It's bullshit. And so, yeah, man, it's like you have to give your gifts to God, right? Like the world, there's like crappy people out there, evil people out there. This is a messed up world. There's war and rape and like child porn and molestation and all of this terrible stuff going on. Like, what kind of world is this, right? Some people will love you today and they'll hate you tomorrow, then they'll love you the day after. Like, these people are finicky. They're crazy, man. So do everything for God. Like, forget about the world, man. It's just like, it's just, what am I going to say? That's how it is. Okay, so this, right? Be willing to give everything up for what you want to go for. And again, not for the girl, not for the soulmate, but for yourself. And you're automatically going to attract her, okay? Use emotional leverage. Right? Look, right now, most guys are watching porn. They're doom scrolling. They're getting all this cheap dopamine. You know this. Duh, right? Like, I don't have to tell you this, but the reason is because you have all of this pent up emotion, right? Anger, sexual frustration, rage, anxiety. You have all of this in. Well, express it. Leverage it. How leverage it? I'll soon tell you how to leverage it. But there's multiple strategies, multiple ways. Many things I did to get myself out there, to express myself fully. Like I'm making this video now. I'm telling you the truth here. What I've lived through, my own life. This is not some guru stuff, right? Like whatever I'm telling you, I've done. First-hand experience. It's nothing to do with science or some scientific papers. It's none of that. It's my life experience I'm teaching you, okay? Listen to your angels. This is super important. So a couple of angels I have in my life. One of them is Luke, my buddy from Australia, one of my best friends. When I was living in New York, in Brooklyn, in Williamsburg, he told me to go to Colombia, leave everything and just go. And I went. I listened to him. Another one of my friends, Haider, when I was in Vancouver, very depressed, he's like, go to Tulum. I listened. And guess what happened in Tulum? I met my wife. So listen to these angels. There's going to be people in your life that are most likely not your family, because family, you're stuck with family, man. Like your family has no choice but to love you, right? You get 50% genes from your mom and 50% genes from your dad. Like they have to love you. You have to love them. But your friends, the people you meet in the world, they don't have to love you. That's a choice. So there are these angels in your life and you better listen and heed their advice. Marcus Aurelius, I remember, this is one of my favorite people, including Seneca, Marcus Aurelius. There was moments when I was in Toronto and I would read Marcus Aurelius every birthday, the meditations. And I was reading, and one time I read a quote which made me move to New York. And I packed my bags in that moment and I went. I took a bus and I lived in New York, right? So, and that allowed me to meet one of my girlfriends, in fact, who I broke up with, and I'll tell you that story too today, but some tragedy happened there. But that allowed me the experience and the know-how to advance in my masculine potential to eventually attract my soulmate. So you're going to have to go through this, right? These are the risks you have to take. Okay? So heed their advice, listen to your angels. Put yourself out there. This is what I was telling you, right? Shyness is a disease. Dude, like shyness is a disease, I'm telling you. This is going to eat your soul. Okay? Now, how do you do that, right? You have all this anger, your frustration. I'll tell you what I did. All of my insecurities, I had low testosterone, erectile dysfunction. I talked about it openly. I didn't give a shit. I was like, look, I'm giving myself 10 years, right? Nothing to lose. Put yourself out there. Go talk. I made YouTube videos, Instagram videos, right? Helped a bunch of people. I helped millions of guys over the last 13 years, right? Of coaching and helping and making courses, right? Be lovable, right? Be the person she falls in love with, right? Don't be like, oh, I'm already great. Don't be in this bullshit type mentality. You're not already great. If you were already great, then you wouldn't be where you are today, right? Like, look at the facts. I don't think I'm great. Like, I have a lot to learn. Every day I'm also struggling, right? Every day I'm also feeling anxiety and frustration. I almost did not make this video today because I had all these demons in my head, right? Like, oh, what's going to happen? Like, is the algorithm going to like shadow ban you or block you because you're talking about these things, right? Are people going to care? Are people like the magic pill? Are they going to stay for a long video? I have all these anxieties too, man, right? But I'm still making them because I don't give a shit about the people watching. I'm giving my gift to God. And if people want to get help from it, they do. If not, they don't. It doesn't matter, right? Express yourself. Ask questions. Don't just sit there. Like, ask, right? When I had low T, I asked, how do I increase my testosterone? I got mentors, right? I read books. I watched videos. I really, really went out there and got educated, right? Express yourself. Ask questions. Obstacle is the way. I used my low testosterone to make money. To sell courses. I made a supplement to increase testosterone, right? I retired my parents. I retired my wife. So obstacle is the way, right? Ryan Holiday's book, right? Stoic philosophy, right? Explore. I've done fashion, man. I've become a fashion designer. I've been dancing. I made music, wrote rap songs. I started businesses. My hair transformation. Right now I have a mustache. I had a beard, like a long Abraham Lincoln beard at some point. I had lots of hair at some point. Bald. Now I'm growing my hair back. Like, right? You gotta explore, man. Like don't. Who cares what people think, right? My own family sometimes makes fun of my that I'm balding, right? That I have a receding hairline and I've lost my hair. My own mom does this, right? So it's like your own family can make you feel insecure. Your own friends, like your best friends, people you've known for a while can make you feel insecure. They don't really mean it. They just might be stupid, right? They just like sometimes we feel that people are evil and they're just stupid. They're not evil, right? You just have to kind of know the difference. Some people are evil. But I also feel like, why is my own mom making me feel insecure? Why is she making fun of me? That's weird. Like, shouldn't she, what the fuck is going on, right? So the reality is, this is also really, really motivating you to get a soulmate, because once you have a soulmate, man, it's like she's your mirror. She becomes your mirror, right? So her love for you is like your love for yourself, right? Because she's your mirror. It's your reflection. And then you don't give a shit what other people think. Yeah, it's going to pinch you a little bit. It's going to be like, what the fuck? Why are these people, right? But at the end of the day, when you go to bed with your soulmate, and when you hug her, when you kiss her, and when you caress her, and you're with her fully, it won't matter what other people think. Yes, it'll pinch you in the moment. You're going to get frustrated. But at the end of the day, it won't matter because fuck, you got yours, right? So yeah, go explore, man. Enjoy life. Enjoy life. When I was traveling, when I was single, man, I traveled so much. I was single. I was traveling the whole world as an entrepreneur. I still do. I mean, now less because we're going to have a kid and we're going to have to settle down. But it's like you being on your own and enjoying life. I built businesses, wrote courses, wrote books, made videos, coached people, did a lot of research in neuroscience. Like, I had a lot of fun. I'm still having a lot of fun. You got to enjoy life. Because when your soulmate, when you attract this girl, she will detect if you have a shitty life. And even if she's too dumb to detect it, then you'll break up later. It won't last. There won't be any soulmate material, okay? Don't hide who you are, right? I'll tell you a story later about this more, but yeah, I'll tell you this soon. So let's go into number 7. Get education, right? Leave mentors at the right time. Get education, right? Testosterone education, right? Sexual performance, physique, right? How to look good, your dark side, right? Carl Jung and Robert Greene, and read those books by those guys. They're great guys. Spirituality, meditate. Every morning when I wake up, I sit on my bed and I meditate. Right? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I've done hours, more than an hour, right? You have to get started on that, right? Please do this. Inner child, right? Wake yourself up, have fun, dance, right? Like there's this beauty when you're naked and you're in your living room and you're just dancing to like reggaeton or like Bollywood music. Really feel your body, feel your heartbeat, right? Even if you hate your body right now, get out there, man. Like, feel good in your skin, right? This ability to take your shirt off and be proud, it's a big deal. I think. I mean, it's my opinion. Okay? And I've had many mentors in my life. Started with the RSD guys when I was doing pickup in Vegas, Elliot Hulse, Gary Vee, Jordan Peterson, right? Nassim Taleb, who I love also, right? Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, Ryan Holiday, Tim Ferriss. Like all of these guys have been my Andrew Huberman, right? I have my mentors and I've learned a lot from these guys. But I left them also at the right time. So there's going to be a moment where you're going to be like, you know what? That's enough. I've learned enough from this person. Time to leave. And then you leave and you find the next one, right? And make sure these mentors aren't gurus. Because gurus, right, they're wannabes. Nothing they say is backed up by their own life experience. They're just spitting out what other people are spitting out. Very much a copy culture. So be careful of the gurus. Always, I tell people that. Okay, let's get into number 8. Be real. Be real. My first date with my wife was at Tres Galeones in Tulum, and we had a 4-hour-ish conversation. And man, I went deep, right? Spirituality. We talked about space, and we talked about our place on Earth with the galaxies and time and what is existing? What does this mean? What is the meaning of life? Like, we went deep, man, into this stuff. And I wanted to know if this is a girl or not. So you go deep. Like, don't be like, oh, is she gonna really like who I am or what I say? Nah. Let others know the real you, who you are, and keep exploring who you are, because you don't know. I don't know who I am. 5 years from now, man, I've transformed so many ways in my life. Now I'm growing this mustache, right? My mom says I look like Charlie Chaplin, or one of those, like, from back in the day, those British guys, who are like walking with a suit, right? Like, so keep transforming, keep exploring, like, do shit, right? Don't just sit there. Never give up on yourself. Very important, right? Especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're doing a side hustle. Like, there's going to be lots of struggle, man. I've been running businesses since 2013. And right after my PhD, I started my entrepreneurship journey. And it's tough, man. 13 years in, it's tough, right? And it's very soul crushing. It's very lonely. It's very hard. It's like, like, when are we going to hit the big jackpot, right? When are we going to, like, make ourselves known to the world? Like, when is every motherfucking guy going to know who I am, right? So that passion, right? That passion, never, ever, ever give up, right? Keep going. Keep going. Spend time alone, right? I told you about that earlier. Inner spiritual search. I iterated this also. Number 9, don't settle for the first girl that wants to fuck you, right? That wants to fuck you. Yeah, they're going to shadow ban this for sure. I have family members and close friends and even clients who married the first girl that fucked them, that was intimate with them, that liked them, that wanted to be around them. They married her. And it every time ends up disaster. Separation, divorce, drug addiction, depression. It just separating from their family, like it just bad. Be careful, right? Be very, very, very careful. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't force. If you don't feel it, if you don't feel the potential, maybe you won't feel the soulmate right away. When I first time I talked to my wife, I wasn't like, oh, my soulmate is here. No. It takes time to gel. It takes time for the connection to happen, the chemistry to build. Okay? Test drive, right? Go and explore, talk to different girls, date different girls, right? Don't be like this. What if this is the best I could get? Right? Don't do that. Like this thing about, this only happens in the movies, this only happens in fairy tales. No. This can happen to you. This happened to me. I'm right here. I'm the perfect story for this. My ex-girlfriend, when we were in Stockholm, I realized this actually. I realized this, don't settle. She was becoming toxic. She was like hitting me. She was like all the time breaking up and running away and then apologizing and lots of drama. And I realized that the only reason I was with her is because I was trying to complete some part of me or I didn't love myself fully, right? I had her there because of her physical look. Like, oh, this girl now is like completing me or something like that. Like I didn't love myself enough. And so I broke up with her, right? And I'm so happy I did, obviously, but don't settle. And balance entitlement is the last tip. I have a friend of mine. He is a fat guy, short, fat, balding, and he is like, girls should like me. Why don't girls like me? He's traveled to different places in the world, and he's a virgin in his mid-40s, maybe older, and he's like, oh. There aren't good girls out there anymore. The girls don't like me because they're cunts, right? It's not, he's complaining all the time, right? He doesn't realize that he is not the person that's going to attract a soulmate or any girl for that matter. So have balance entitlement. You should be entitled if you are competent, if you know something, if you're an expert in something, if you have knowledge of something. Yes, be entitled. Be confident. Right? It could be your sense of humor. It could be the businesses you've built or other things you've built, right? It could be your physique that you've built or it could be anything, right? A relationship with your parents, like anything that you should be proud of. Not just, oh, I'm a man with a dick, so I'm entitled to all the hot women out there. No, don't be in that naivete because the women out there that have high quality, there's massive competition out there, right? And you are competing with top guys. So you gotta do your best. You gotta be the best you, okay? Become someone, right? I'm lucky and I got my PhD. I had that confidence of being educated, being an intellectual. And look, yes, a lot of people dirt on education and dirt on being nerdy and all that. I get that, but there's also advantages of getting an education because you go through a curriculum where you are learning really hard things and you get the confidence to do anything that's hard and learn things very, very fast. And that's what happened to me. You must deserve it. You must deserve it. That's what real competence is, right? You have to deserve the soulmate. And for that, you have to put in the work. Not cheap dopamine, not scrolling on IG, no. Not checking your email all the time, no. No. Not Netflix all day long, no porn, no. Cigarettes, alcohol, it's all stupid. Like weed, get rid of all of that. Do not take a risk, man. Take the better risks. Remember I said take smart risks. These are dumb risks. Respect women. Don't be one of those toxic masculinity people. Respect women, right? Your mothers, your sisters, your daughters. Never desperate, and be okay with being alone forever. Be okay. Like when I was embarking on my journey, I made this decision. I said, you know what? If I end up old, it's okay because I have a family. My brother is there. My friends are there. I'll be fine. Someone will take care of me. I'll figure it out. I'll get girlfriends even when I'm like 80 years old, and I'll figure it out. But yeah, very important. Be okay that you're going to be alone forever. Once you've accepted that fact, you're no longer desperate. You're no longer needy. You're going to get the soulmate. All right? That's what I had for you today. Spread this video to other people if they can help them. Give a like so this algo sends it to other people. Comment. Let me know. Is there something that I missed? Is there another strategy to find a soulmate? That if you have a soulmate, then tell me. Or if you've struggled your whole life and you still haven't figured it out, tell me how you failed. Right? Give me your failures too, not just your successes. But I'm telling you, this is one of the top lessons that I can teach you because I've lived my life in this, right? And of course, it's still early in my journey. I've been married for almost 3 years, been with her for 5 years. I'm going to have a daughter soon. So the journey is going to continue, man. And I'll keep teaching you more and more as we progress. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.